our show, and welcome aboard the USS Constellation. In just a few moments, we're going to be casting off and setting sail. So, all aboard that's coming aboard, haul up the gangway! We have a great show for you today, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm a deep-water sailor, just come from Hong Kong. To me way, I blow the man down. If you give me some silver, I'll sing you a song. Oh, give me some time to blow the man down. Behind the 8 ball, I first took my time. To me way, I blow the man down.
Behind the 8 ball, he has wasted his prime. Oh, give him some time to blow the man down.
Wise guy, huh?
Tinkers and tailors and soldiers and all. To me way, I blow the man down. Good sailors behind the 8 ball. Oh, give him some time to blow the man down.
15 hairs in a dead man's chest.
Many brave hearts lie asleep in the haze of the
Calling all pirates, calling all pirates. Calling all pirates. Ship off board, calling all pirates.
Come on, babykins, get dressed. We're going to have company.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it.
You will? And you'll like it.
All right, I will. But I won't like
Or the decoy. Shut up, you brat. Help a poor mother and a little child. Pipe down, you... Help! Help! To the rescue!
They fell for it. All right. Ball strike 1.
everybody one these days.
Now kids, this is the Constellation's stern chaser. It's actually called a Parrot rifle because it has a rifled barrel. It shoots 20 pounds solid shot, can shoot it for 2.5 miles with great accuracy because of the rifle barrel. Uses about 2 pounds of powder to do that. As you see, the Constellation is a 3-masted ship. This is what's called the mizzen mast. That's the main mast, and the one way up there is called the foremast. The main mast on this ship has 5 levels of sail. That would be the main chorus, the top sail, top gallant, and the top royal, and the sky sail. The other 2 masts only carried 4 courses of sail. And as you see, this mizzen mast back here had a sail that wasn't like the others. wasn't a square rigger. It was it's called a spanker. This would be the mizzen boom, and the spanker would be tied onto this boom, and then up to the gaff boom up there. And so it would be fore and aft, and that would help steer the boat and help it sail a little bit closer to the wind, particularly in a light wind. Now this over here is what's called the standing rigging. This helps hold the masts up. When got a lot of wind and a lot of sail on those masts, it puts a strain on it, and it needs a standing rigging to keep it in place so it doesn't blow over. This is what's called the running rigging, and these were the lines that you actually used to haul the sails up and down, and to haul those long spars there, those poles that go sideways, those are called the yards. And you'd have one of those to hold each one of the square rigged sails. And you would actually haul that yard up and down. And that's why the lines that did that were called halyards. And to this day, we call all the sails, all the lines that haul sails up and down, we call them halyards, even if there's no yard. Moving right along. This device over here is called a capstan. And you would take these poles here, and you'd get about 8 men, and they would turn this. You could wrap the lines around it, and you'd get a lot more power that way to haul the lines in and out. Anchor lines would be run all the way back here when they needed to be. Wrapped around the capstan. The men would put the poles in, and they push this around to haul the anchors up. That's called weighing the anchor.
Let's see what happens when you come aboard Constellation.
When you come on board, cell phones and everything don't work anymore. This turns into the 1860s, and you are back in time on the Constellation learning what it was like to be here.
We fire the cannon, turn the capstan, and ring the bell daily. And we recommend the free self-guided audio tour, which comes in 2 flavors. One perfect for children, the other for adults.
Over here you see we've got some spare masts. Each one of these is a section of the mast. In case the mast gets blown away in battle or gets broken from too much strain in a storm, you'd have a spare one to put up. See, it's just a barrel with a line on it, and this is a block. This type of block would just be used for hauling heavy stuff up and down. You haul it up and off the deck a few feet, it would be easier to move around, a couple men. So he had all sorts of different lines for different purposes on the ship. Okay, ladies, hope you're enjoying the show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
USS Constellation. There's a grand lady in Baltimore who has taken her rightful place as the Inner Harbor's crown jewel in the heart of the Chesapeake Bay. Launched in 1854 as the last all-sail ship designed and built for the United States Navy, Constellation's century of service embraced the ages of sail, steam, gas, diesel, and nuclear power. Imagine that, launched in 1854 and still afloat.
And ladies, as you know, this is what's called a companionway. You've got stairs here that go down to the lower deck. There were two companionways, the one here and the one over there. And this, as you might by now guess, is the ship's bell. You use this to get the attention of the crew. When it was the changing of a watch, you'd ring a bell. Now, on every hour and every quarter hour, the bell would be rung. It would be rung for special purposes to call the crew if there was an emergency, if you're about to go into battle. You'd ring the bell to get the crew activated for battle. This, of course, is the foremast. It would have had 4 sails on it. These are called ratlets. And this is how the crew got aloft, that is to say, up the mast, when they had to furl the sails, to change the sails up there, or to do other things. Sometimes they'd have a watch posted up there, and they'd have to climb up and down. Even when the ship was pitching pretty bad back and forth, the men would have to climb up and down the ratlets. This is what's called the bowsprit. And there'd be 3 more sails, 4 and aft sails rigged. There would be a jib, and a staysail, and a flying jib rigged onto this bowsprit. This is the bow chaser we talked about. The original one on this ship fired a 30-pound shot, but it would have been a bigger gun than this. And out here, the anchors would have been mounted here, and as you know, when the boat's not at dock, but you want to keep it in one place overnight, you anchor the boat, like in a harbor. And the crew would go out, and they'd drop the anchor, and that would hold the boat in place. And then when they were ready to leave, they'd have to weigh the anchor. And that was one of the toughest jobs that the sailors had. When that anchor was set, they'd have to really, really haul, with lots and lots of them hauling at the same time to get that anchor up out of the bottom. And as you know, we showed you the capstan earlier. When the anchor was really set, they'd have to use it to help them so that they get more power into hauling up the anchor. And kids, as you know, the Constellation is right here in the Inner Harbor of Baltimore. We've got Baltimore all around us. We're right here in the heart of it. And isn't it a lovely place to be, especially on a fine morning like this? Well, kids, we hope you're enjoying the show, so don't go away. We'll be back in a moment.
The ship you see here, the sloop of war Constellation, was built at the Gosport Navy Yard in Portsmouth, Virginia, and launched in 1854. A newspaper account from the day of her launch reported that there were 8 pieces of the original frigate Constellation contained within her timbers. The third constellation was the aircraft carrier CV-64. Launched in 1960, she served until 2003. President Ronald Reagan called her America's flagship. But it's the sloop of war Constellation that's here in Baltimore today, and the Chesapeake Bay has always been central to her story.
Throughout her century of service, Constellation served in and out of the Chesapeake Bay. It was kind of like coming home every time she returned to the Chesapeake Bay. She was created here at Gosport Navy Yard.
Kids, welcome to the captain's quarters. This is where I live. And this is the captain's table. This is where I invite officers to dine with me. My office is over there. My bunk is over there, my berth. And it's really quite a lovely space here. This is probably the nicest space on the ship. We've got windows back here we can open when there's a nice breeze. Of course, if the seas aren't too high, that is. The galley is over there. That's where they cook the meals. They cook meals for me and the officers, and they cook a different meal for the seamen, of course. Boys and girls, I've had some fine times on this ship. Yep, my berth over there may look small and cramped, but I tell you, I really love it. It's nice and cozy, and it's all I need to lay my head down at night. And you might laugh when you see our bathroom, but it works. It's all we need. And on the ship, the bathroom is called the head. Actually, it's called that because a lot of the men wouldn't use the bathroom. They'd go up to the bow of the ship. And so that was called the head of the ship. There'd be a figurehead underneath the bowsprit. So that's why they called the bow of the ship the head. And since some of the men would use that to go to the bathroom, we call it a head. In our kitchen, we call it a galley. It may be a little cramped, but I tell you, our cook can do some fun, can do some nice things with the provisions we have on board. He cooks up some tasty meals for me. And even though we're at sea, we like our little comforts. As you see, I have a very nice dining table for my officers. We've got some nice dishware on board, some porcelain. We've got some rather attractive lighting. You see the shutters we have here in my cabin are very attractive. Makes me feel right at home here in my cabin. Yeah, now the seamen don't have it quite so nice, but I'm the captain, so it's only right. It's only fitting that I should have things a little bit better. But I tell you one, they get their ration of rum, and every Sunday, the cook bakes them a duff. You know what a duff is? Well, it's kind of in between a pudding and a cake. And what he does, he uses the water from the pickle barrel and some flour and bakes it up and puts some molasses on it. And it's quite tasty. The men look forward to that Sunday duff all week long. And just forward of my quarters is the main deck, and on this ship that also serves as the gun deck. We've got 20 62-pound guns out there. These are not rifled guns like the ones that I showed you on the stern, but they can shoot a 62-pound shot. And this shot is unlike the one up there. It's not solid. It'll have a little gunpowder in the middle of it and a fuse. So when it hits another ship and you get all that friction and heat, it'll explode. And that's more effective in winning the battle than a solid shot would be. Okay, ladies, hope you're enjoying the show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Imagine being a hero. Imagine fighting the bad guys, saving the world, all that good stuff. Now imagine fighting an enemy you can't see or touch. Extra life. Play games. Heal kids.
Ah, this is my washroom right here. I was telling you about it. And I need to wash my hands. I've got water right there. I just wash up and dirty water goes in here. And this is where I take a bath. Now the men have to go overboard to take a bath or hose themselves down a little bit on deck. But you know, I'm a captain, I got some privilege, and I get to take a bath. And this is my stateroom, such as it is. Got my extra uniform. This is my berth. I've got my bunk here, that we talked about, a little extra desk here. And this is my hutch. I keep some extra clothes and possessions in here. I've got my drawers there for some writing materials. This is the pantry. This is where my cook keeps the provisions that are just for me, that nobody else has access to. And this would be my office. No computer, but we get by. This is the port washroom. You see, I can only use one washroom at a time depending on which tack the ship is on. Because when the ship is on a port tack, that means it'll be leaning that way. When it's on a starboard tack, the ship will be leaning that way. So I got to choose which baths I'm going to take depending on which way the wind is blowing and which tack the ship is on. Now, this is the port side of the ship. When you're looking forward, like here, we're looking from aft towards the bow, that's called forward. When you're looking forward, the side on your left-hand side is the port side, and the side on your right-hand side is the starboard side. This is the main deck I told you about. You see the guns I told you about, the 62-pounders. We showed you the capstan upstairs. This is the same capstan, so we can get more men pulling it. When you've got them hauling upstairs, you can have some more men down here hauling it if you need them. And what do you think this is, kids? This is what's called a bilge pump, bilge and fire pump. You have men on both sides of it pushing down and up and down and up and down, and that would pump water through a hose to wherever you need it on the ship. The main reason you pump it is to get it out from the bottom of the hull so it doesn't fill up the ship and make the ship sink. But when you need it for cleaning, for washing down the deck, you use it for that too. This is where the mizzen mast is stepped. We call it stepped. That means it comes down here and it's laid into the hull of the ship to give it some more strength. Just like we had the standing rigging up there holding it in place, this stepping of the mast helps hold it in place as well. And this is to give you an idea of the kind of foods that the men ate on board, which is a little different from what I ate. These biscuits here are called hardtack, and they keep for a long time. They were hard to eat, but you know, they were a little hard, a little stale, but you could eat them. Sometimes you get some weevils on them, but you know, still edible. And the meat would be cured, usually in brine, to keep it from going bad so fast. Cheese was another thing. Beans and peas were good things to keep on board because they didn't go bad. Tobacco, the men liked their tobacco. Oh, I was telling you about the duff. Guess what? there's the duff. That's what they got on Sundays. And there's the molasses they would put on it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
There we go. That's it. All right, because this is
It started small. Then it went global. Gamers from North America coming together with gamers from all around the world, from all walks of life, getting together to play games for 24 hours and raise money to help cure sick kids. With all funds raised staying local with Children's Miracle Network hospitals and partner hospitals internationally. For more info or to sign up, visit www.extra-life.org. Play games, heal kids, Extra Life.
Family oriented, and the kids will love it, and they'll come out asking questions, which I love.
It transports you back. You can almost get the feel that you were actually there, because laying in that hammock, like, oh my goodness.
I think it's really interesting because it shows you exactly how they slept and how they ate and how they went through life.
Alive, and that it helps you to understand. Like, rather than looking at pictures, you can actually see what they were in, and you can actually understand it.
I think it makes me appreciate being an American, knowing these people went through these things to put me where I am now.
I'd say come see it.
Yeah, we were a little bit leery because of the age of our children, 4 and 7, but they enjoyed it so much. It really kind of surprised us. We thought it'd be more for us, the parents, but no, they loved it.
They had a good time.
Yeah, they had a great time.
So come aboard USS Constellation.
By this walking through history that they're able to do, and they're able to see the hammocks and see the officer's wardroom and sit in the captain's cabin and have this whole immersive experience that you're never going to get at most types of museums. So this is a really wonderful experience for them, and they have no idea what they're missing out on, and they come on board and they keep coming back.
Okay, well, that's about it for today, me hearties. But we'll see you back here next week for the Captain Baltimore Show. Till next time, mateys, this is Captain Baltimore signing off. We'll see you right back here next week aboard the USS Constellation. Till then.